going to get started. First, I would like for you to tell me your name and spell your first and last name, and then tell me your age and the date, today's date.
My name's Kevin Mosley, Kevin Mosley, 40 years old, Greensboro, North Carolina, born and raised here.
And today's date is?
January 28th, 2021.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on my first podcast for this year, Inside the Purple Door. We met each other in some unfortunate circumstances, and you get a chance to tell people your story. And I'm just excited to have you here. I'm nervous myself. My name is Portia Shipman, and I'm the founder of the Sharita Denise Jackson Foundation. They also call me the Purple Hair Lady, but this segment is about the Purple Door Lady, and it is inside the Purple Door. How did you learn about the Sharita Denise Jackson Foundation?
I learned out a lot of ways.
Okay.
I learned out personally through family members.
Okay.
And I learned from friends that talked to you guys before, and I learned firsthand for myself through TV when we came through the lab.
Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about as well. You know, meeting you during the situation, which is your story. And we're hoping that your story empowers others to get out of relationships. And being that you're a man, a lot of people look at, well, why is this man sitting here telling his story? Why is it important that he sits here and tells his story? And when there are so many more women who are getting abused. And we acknowledge that. 85% women do get abused, but men get abused as well. So I'm happy to have you here. But there was a phone call that you made to me. And let's start with that phone call. You were calling me. What did you mean? What started the conversation of me and you being here today?
I needed help. You know, I didn't know where to turn. You know, family and friends, they may be there, but they're not there to help you and help me help, basically. You know, when I wanted to reach out to you, when I wanted you to come and help me, I was at my worst. I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know if I was right or wrong. I didn't know what exactly my steps was to do. So I just went with God. You know, and by the grace of God, I came across your path again.
You know, I had heard about what was going on through, like you said, family and friends, because we have a close relationship, because I know your family actually. I grew up with your family in Claremont, the Mosleys. And your mom, God rest her beautiful soul, was one of my best friends. But this is not about that story. This is another story. This is, you called me and you were in need of some support.
Yes, ma'am.
And let's go back to that time where you were.
I have 3 girls, 1 boy. My son's the oldest, he's 13. Then it trickles down to 9, 7, and 4.
9, 7, and 4. Okay, tell me about that day that the situation happened where you end up fighting for your life. Let's just say that.
Basically, to sum it up in a nutshell, I tried to stick around because I was a man, and I had been through so much and done so many different things that, you know, it was kind of subject to me to feel like I owed it people to be able to do wrong to me because of my troubled past. And during that day, I was there only to really help and to be there for my kids. Like, we wasn't even really in a relationship. Like, it was more of me trying to be there while she was doing what she wanted to do.
And when you say she, is this the mother of your 4 children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you guys have been in a relationship how long? How many
14
years?
and a half years.
14 and a half years.
Yes, ma'am.
And through that time, you had 4 beautiful children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you guys have had many other arguments before in the past. would you say that you felt like, in a way, that what was going on in the relationship, you sort of like kind of deserved because of you said your past, but that day of rage, the day where Romy had to go, and that's your nickname, right? And that's the name I'm used to calling you. Romy had 911 coming to his house to get him to save his life. Let me get back to that day. Was your children home?
Yes, ma'am. They was there. Okay, I can give it to you.
I want you to tell me raw. I want you to be raw.
Be raw a little bit.
This is your story.
Okay.
It's
I'm
me.
be raw. Okay.
Okay.
It was a concert, and my baby mother, she wanted to go to the concert, and so I, me being me, even though we wasn't in a relationship, I still love her, and I wanted to be there. So I said, okay, yeah, I'll go with you. So I went to the concert, had an alright time. And when we got back to the house, instead of me going home, I went back to my kids, to her house, and I went and stayed at her house that night. So prior to me waking up in the morning, her phone was ringing. I decided to tell her phone was ringing and give her her phone, but she was still a little sleepy and tired, I guess. We had been drinking all night. So when I gave her the phone, I guess she just overlooked it and just pushed it back up. But anyway, it continued to ring on for that morning. So once I looked at it this time, I decided to see who it is calling. So when I see the name that's calling the phone, I know the name. I know the person. I know the man. And it's a neighbor from downstairs who I was dealing with on a different level, but we were kind of cool. And I'm like, why is he calling her phone this early? I pays no attention to it. And so I continued to lay there, what I'm saying? I just got frustrated with myself because my mind is racing and I'm thinking all negative. So I got up and I go in there and I'm talking to my kids now. I'm interacting with them, trying to play with them to get my mind off of what I'm thinking about what's going on. And my daughter ended up with the phone, my middle daughter. Her name is Casey.
Okay.
She ended up with her mother's phone. And while I'm in there making them some cereal, she comes and says, Daddy, Mama phone ring. So I said, okay. So when I get the phone again, it's a text message. But on messages, what I'm saying, you can't read the message because she has a lock on her phone. But you can see as it comes up on the front screen. So I said, hey, baby. And this is the guy downstairs. So I'm fluttered by that. And so I'm like, man, what I'm saying? In my mind, we're not together. So I have no reason to be upset with this situation. But then again, this is a friend of mine or somebody who when we were together, we would associate with him and his girl and go out with them and do outings.
So, okay.
So I decided to go play with my kids to get my mind off of thinking about what was going on and what I seen in her phone. So my daughter ended up having her phone and coming telling me her phone was ringing, and I see the text message that came through on the front screen and it says, hey baby. And so I'm kind of upset because I'm like, dang, even though he's not a best friend, he's still a friend. And then we just hung out with these people. Him and his girl, they just had a baby. So I'm feeling kind of upset because I'm like, dang, not only are you doing me wrong, but you're messing with my friend from downstairs, and it kind of upset me. So now I'm feeling some type of way. So I go to wake her up. But instead of waking her up, I say, you know what? I'm not even gonna wake her up. I'm gonna go see why this guy texting her, good morning, baby. You know what I'm saying? Why he calling us so early in the morning? So I go downstairs, I knock on their door, and I'm like, nobody comes to the door. So I was like, maybe he ain't here. So I go back upstairs. So when I get upstairs, she's up. And I got her phone in my hand. So she sees me with the phone. So she's like, what time is it? So I'm like, 6 o'clock. So I give her phone. And I'm like, yo, so you allow the guy downstairs who we was hanging with, so y'all kicking it now or something? And she gets real upset and hysterical. Like she goes into like this big rage to where she's basically saying, why am I going to her phone? So I said, I didn't go in your phone. I said, because you have a lock on it. But I said, someone's kept calling your phone, so I just so happened to look. And then, you know, long story ends, to make the story short, you know, my daughter had it and brought it to me. So now I see that the man texts you, "Good morning, baby." And now I know this guy, we look cool, so I'm trying to figure out, how do you feel comfortable with knowing that he has a girl? And when I'm telling her this, I have my back to it because I'm actually trying to put my stuff together, and I'm telling her this, and she just busts me in the head with like a glass or something. I'm not even sure what it was, but you know, just bust me in the head. So I'm like, yo, why? So I'm like, yo, you upset with me? Like, yo. And so my daughters, they right there and they're yelling, they're crying, yelling. So I'm telling her like, yo, why would you do that? You know, why would you hit me in the head? So she's like, give me my phone. So now I'm upset with her now. You know, instead of trying to talk now, I'm upset. Like, I'm not giving you your phone. Like, you just bust me in the head with a bottle. And so she's like, I don't give a crap. You going in my phone, you sitting up in my phone. So I'm like, yo, it's not the point about going in your phone. Now that I know, and now that you know that I know, we should talk about that. She didn't want to hear that. So she just get your stuff and get out of my house. So I said, I'm getting my stuff. You done bust me in the head, my head bleed. So she's upset. So once I get my stuff together that was in her room at this time, I'm walking out of the room, but she grabbed me from the back. And it's like she got me from the back. And my daughter, they're right there yelling. So while she has me from the back, I don't want to deliberately hurt her because my kid's right here and I'm just trying to get away. This is one time that that's enough for me to feel some type of way like, I'm done with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, messing with guys is cool, but people who I interact with or people who we hung out with, I just didn't see that fit. So at that time, when I'm trying to get out the door, she got a picture frame that she just grabbed. Now, mind you, my daughter and them are right there. So she grabs the picture frame and she just goes crazy and just starts beating me with it. It's beat me. So the whole time, and I'm not exaggerating, the whole time I'm literally not trying to do anything. I just want her to stop and let me leave. She don't want to listen. So, you know, she's screaming and telling me I ain't this and I ain't that. And I'm like, you all of this because I found out you talking to the guy downstairs. And this is how calmly I'm talking. Even though I'm bleeding everywhere, this is actually how calmly I'm talking. Like, I can't believe that you were doing this. And while I'm talking to her like this, Miss Portia, she's still swinging. I mean, that's why I got all these scars all over my neck and all over my back.
What happened?
She was hysterical. Like, she was just going through.
With the picture frame?
With the picture frame, after it had them broken and shattered all over me, the wooden part, she's taking that, jigging me. And the whole time, I'm just trying to hold my door out the way. In my other hand, I'm trying to press her to stop. So, somehow we end up to where she's in the hallway and I'm still in the room. Now, one of my littlest daughter, she's right here. My other daughter, she's on the other side of her.
These children are watching.
And they're watching. So that's...
She's not even looking at the
she's not concerned about that. And so I think that's what bothered me to be concerned.
How did she look? How did she look when you were looking at her?
I don't think that it was
Did you
her.
see her?
Honestly, I don't think it was her.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not covering up for it. You know what I'm saying?
Some people say their eyes turn cold black and they look different during that time.
I really couldn't fondle it because she never, I mean, she did some crazy stuff to me before, but this was like over the top. Like, my kids are like literally right here yelling and I'm literally defending myself. Like, without retaliating, like even grabbing you or pushing you, none of that. This is literally holding my baby back. Stop what you're doing. You're cutting me. You're hurting me real bad. I'm bleeding everywhere. Just stop, please. Let me leave. Somehow, you know, I end up, and this is the time when I did decide to push her because she got me in a certain little move with the thing, and I'm thinking she's trying to stab me, you know, with the picture frame. So I have to, you know, like move her off of me. So I pushed her with force. So by doing this, I end up being able to get into the hallway to get out. So once I get in the hallway and get out, now we just arguing and talking. Oh, you this and you this and this. Oh, you mad because I found out? Like, oh, so we doing a bunch of back and forth yelling. So I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. You done did all this. I'm just gonna leave. I'm packing my stuff in the living room. So while I'm doing this, my daughters and they come.
You
like,
still packing?
Yeah.
So all this,
I'm still just trying to get my stuff and leave.
Wow.
So my daughter comes and she say, Daddy, where you going? This is my oldest daughter. I said, me, you see what's going on? You know, your mom done did too much. Daddy gotta go. So she said, Daddy, you leave. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I have to go, baby. I said, I'm gonna go with you. So I said, oh, man. I said, nah, you can't go. I don't got nowhere to go. You know? Right. So then they sitting there crying, but they're looking. So I'm like, you know what? So she yells out, "No, take them with you. Take them with you." So I'm like, huh? Oh, you did. So I didn't. I said, you know what? Y'all was just going there and get y'all a book bag and some clothes. Don't worry about it. Y'all can go with me.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, my little baby, now she's in there with me. And she had like 3 or 4 shirts already in her hand. So I grab them from her and I'm putting them in the book bag. And that's when I hear my oldest daughter say, "Daddy, she got a knife." And so by the time I'm turning over my shoulder, she's already, you know, already not coming in at me. She's already at me.
Oh my God.
She's coming like,
Oh.
I don't know if she was going to try to kill me. I don't know what it was. But if my daughter would have never said, "Daddy, she coming with a knife," I have no idea where I would be today. Like I don't even know if I would be able to be telling you this story, because like I said, once I turned around and I'm on one knee because I'm putting stuff in the bag. So I'm on one knee. Actually, I'm already on the floor, putting stuff in the bag.
Right.
You know, with my daughter right here looking at me. And then my other daughter, she's on the other side of the table. So while I'm putting the stuff in the bag, she yells out, "She got a knife." So by the time I turn, I don't have time to do anything because she's already coming down. So it was more of a wow.
Protecting yourself.
Protecting my face.
Oh,
because I'm already low to her. So it's like I'm looking up like, wow. And she came down and wow. And she was cutting real bad, and she was cut like 2 or 3 times. And once I seen that my fingers was off and they was like leaning, I was like, oh my goodness, look at what you did. But
she cut your fingers off. Oh,
and she had no care. I mean, no. After that was worse than what she did before that. After cutting me was worse than what she did before cutting. Because I mean, it was a rage of like, I'm very wounded. It's blood everywhere. I'm losing so much blood. I'm weak. And my kids are right here. And I'm running around a house as a grown man. I'm running through a house trying to protect myself from this woman.
What? Is that when you realized that she was trying to kill you?
That's when I realized she was trying to kill me. Because I mean, I done been in a situation and I've seen things where, you know, if somebody doing something to you, you know, you hurt them, it's okay. You know, once you hurt them, you're like, okay, I told you to leave me alone.
Right.
But when you go out and you hurt somebody and you deliberately coming for that person has done you no wrong, and you still trying, even after you hurt, I just felt like you was trying to kill me. You know, I feel like if I would have stood there, you would have deliberately killed me. You know, because...
So how did you get to someone helping you? I mean, you're running around. Let's go back to running around.
Okay, I'm running around in the house.
Your fingers are
I'm using the chair. I'm
your
using the
blood
chair.
everywhere.
Blood
You're
everywhere.
bleeding through your head.
The kids are screaming.
Your kids are screaming. Wow.
So
any neighbors come by?
No. I jumped... Okay, so in my living room, we had like a table, and then it's like a big chair. So I'm using the chair to separate myself from her trying to get me.
So she's still coming at you.
Yeah, and she's still coming. So we done ran around the chair 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Before I realized, like, you know, I'm gonna go try to run out the door. But really, my point was why I didn't run out the door from the first time I ran around, because I'm thinking about my kids in here. And the only thing that I was thinking about, they were trying to go at me and they was yelling. So I never took the thought of the initiative to say, just run out the door, Romeo is right there. I didn't take that initiative. I just took the initiative of like, yo, wanting her to not keep continuing to try to hurt me. But once I see that she was really like in a rage, I ran into a room and locked the door. So when I locked the closet door, you know, she beating the closet door. And
you ran into a closet?
Yes, it was a closet. And like a laundry room closet.
Right.
You know, I couldn't lock the door, but I had it locked with my hand. It's like a folding door. Like
folding door, you open up and close.
Just that simple.
Okay.
And so when I got it closed, you know, she's standing on the other side trying to get through with it, pushing the knife through it, and I'm telling her like, yo.
Oh my gosh, she's jabbing at the door.
So I'm telling her like, wow, my fingers are off. Like, yo, what are you doing? So she's not understanding this. And it's crazy because as I'm looking through the little seams of the door, I can see my daughter standing right behind her crying, like two of them. They just standing there crying, yelling. And she's literally just standing at the door, just like, get out of my house. Get out of my house. So she's screaming, get out of my house. And I'm like, how can I get out? If you're trying to kill me.
You're trying to kill me.
I say, just get away from the door and let me out. And then I go out. I get out your house.
Right.
Because now I'm at the point where I done got so weak, you know, and I just want to get out. Now I just want to get out. I can't even be concerned about the kids.
What are you doing? You're holding your hand?
I'm not even holding my hand. I'm holding the door.
Oh.
Forget my hand. My hand's just sitting there bleeding everywhere. I'm holding the door because I'm scared. This woman had me. As a man, I'm not ashamed to say it. I was literally scared. You know what I'm saying? And
of course.
So, you know, after a good 10 minutes of literally time, 10 minutes is a long time going through this.
Minutes.
And I said, yo, please just let me out. I said, yo, if you get away from the door, I'll get out. And so she like, no, get out. So I'm like, yo, I'm in here about to die. Like, I'm losing so much blood. Like, let me out. So she like, you know what? I'm going to let you out. So she backs up. So I said, so, okay, back up some more.
Right,
because
exactly.
You too close. I can still see you through the crack of the door. You're not backing up. I said, so you making me feel like you want me to open the door so you can lunge at me. So she's like,